This is my professional portfolio. These are some examples of the work that I'm most proud of and some of the highlights in my career. So this first slide is me speaking with Craig Kashan, who is an anchor of Fox Sports Wisconsin's pregame show, Bucks Live, prior to the NBA basketball game. And I would speak with Craig about the Polar Plunge every year, which was our biggest fundraising event for Special Olympics Wisconsin. And I would also speak with him in front of Brewers Live for their pregame show as well about our Over the Edge fundraising event each year. The next slide here represents the work that I've done with branding. In 2012, Special Olympics Wisconsin went through a refreshed branding, which was sparked by Special Olympics Incorporated's new brand identity guidelines. And so what was happening was all across the country and all across the world, Special Olympics visual identity differed. And so in 2012, the Worldwide Office came out with some new guidelines, and my job was to ensure that at the statewide level we were complying with those guidelines. So I launched a three-phase plan, started out with educating staff and volunteers on the new guidelines and discussing why they're so important and why how they can help us maintain a strong brand. And in the second phase, we really focused on redesigning a lot of our marketing collateral, such as annual reports, brochures, the website. And then in the third phase, we redesigned and reprinted all of our banners. And those were not just for sports events, but also for fundraising events for 7 offices and for 200 local programs across Wisconsin. And so this is a picture of some of the banners. And you can see they're consistent with the logos that's being used, as well as the dynamic curve. And you'll see in the other marketing collateral how that dynamic curve ties all of our collateral together, regardless of whether it's a fundraising piece like the flyer in the top right corner, or if it's program related materials like the display board, banners, tablecloth in the bottom images there. So that was a very rewarding experience to see how we really brought our brand to life through these new brand identity guidelines. As far as copywriting goes, I've written copy for brochures, for the web. Currently, we're redesigning a website to comply with Google's new mobile friendly update, which will change how websites are coming up in search if they're not responsive or friendly. My copywriting has also extended into some journalism, some journalistic pieces as well. I've written stories that have been published in the newspaper. One example is I wrote a story about this elderly woman who knit scarves for our athletes who were participating in the state winter games. They were competing in snowboarding, snowshoe racing, cross country skiing, downhill skiing, snowboarding, and so this very kind woman, she was 102 years old. She knit scarves for athletes, and the story was published in her local newspaper, which she was very excited about, and so were all the other ladies at the nursing home. And then another story I wrote about one of our interns who was a hockey player at UW-Madison was published in a blog here that you can see. And basically the story behind it was he, being a hockey player, you devote so many hours of your day to studying and to hockey, but he also interned with us, and then he also coached basketball players as well. So he's a really great guy. It was nice to see him get some coverage in this blog, as well as in our our blog. And then just news releases I've written, have gotten picked up. This is one niche trade publication, Transport Topics, that aired that picked up our news release about the world's largest truck convoy. As far as events go, I've planned several large-scale events at universities. This is a picture of our state summer games. We had about 5,000 people in attendance, athletes, coaches, volunteers, sponsors. You name it, the whole community came out, and I was responsible for everything from maintaining the budget, inviting sound and staging vendors, inviting celebrities, inviting a cheerleading squad, the Knights of Columbus, celebrities, making sure that everything was in order, getting press there, doing the media interviews on site, making sure that the setup and the logistics were all in order. We had a parade of athletes marching into the ceremony, and then prior to that, there was actually a law enforcement parade as well that ran through the community to the State Summer Games to kick it off. So there was quite a few moving parts, and it was really, really fun to be the one leading this event, the ceremony. We had a sign language interpreter. There was just a lot going on, and it was very, very busy and just really rewarding, to see all the athletes having a great time. This is a picture of one year it rained, but you can see it didn't damper anyone's spirit. We had a rapper come in and he performed, and we shortened the ceremony to kind of accommodate for the rain. And then this is another event I planned for high school students called the Business Challenge, and high school students paired up with local members of the business community, decided to how to run their own business for the day, and it was a game that Junior Achievement program, one of our programs, offered. And so this was really, really neat. We had about 300 attendees. It was a full day event on a Wednesday. We had the space donated from a local business, and just a really great networking opportunity for these students. And there was a lot of moving parts to this event as well. And it was one of the first events that I'd ever planned, and just really enjoyed it. A few other examples of events I've planned are the JAU Skills Challenge, a golf event for kids, as well as more upscale events, Ladies Night Out auction, and raffles and cocktail hour, as well as an all-day free invitational golf outing, which we had Packer celebrities come to. This picture in the top right corner there is Fuzzy Thurston, who was a former Packer player who actually passed away last year. But it was really great working with him and bringing him there to meet members of our community. As far as digital marketing goes, I've written, designed, and distributed, maintained lists for several email newsletters. I've also written strategic digital marketing plans to improve click-through rates, open rates, and our metrics in general. I've also launched I've also written posts, organic posts, for Facebook, Twitter. I'm active personally on Instagram and Snapchat as well. And in addition to organic, I've also been a part of paid campaigns on Facebook, as well as Google AdWords. These are examples of a Google display ad on the left there, and a Google search ad on the right. And this was for a fundraising campaign, the tax checkoff campaign. It was where Wisconsin residents could donate a portion of their tax return to a nonprofit organization. So we were promoting that here. We raised about $65,000, and these ads generated a total of about 6,000 clicks. So those are some examples of different marketing, public relations, social media work that I've done, and event planning as well. Thanks.